initial run-through, we have about $520,000 we had to cut out of the budget. So a couple things that we did, that we made note of that we would eliminate, is the commissioners recommended that we take the animal shelter from 40 down to, from 140,000 down to 40. So that would save 100,000 there. Did you remember that conversation about the whole animal shelter and more doing like a service contract? The commissioners would work at that out with the city of Bluffton. We agreed to, at least right now, remove the EMA pickup truck, which was 80,000. Probation officer, that was a little bit of an error, so we were able to add back in 4,196. And they were presenting it was overstated by 4,196. Community corrections, we actually added back in 2,473 to match the actual budget that they were wanting to present. The sheriff's department, to get to the right pension amount, we always take the middle. They give you the high and the low. We go to the middle, that saves $73,057.
Is that the merit?
No, that's the pension.
That pension, okay, the pension's, okay.
That's the pension side.
Save 70?
Yes, 73,000.
Can I or just add something because I forgot?
Yeah.
I texted you on that sheet or the packet I gave you during my presentation. There's a sheet in the back that goes back and shows, I think, back to 2008 or 2003, our pension. Just so you're aware, working with the merit board and the financial people, a good, solid pension is to be 80% vested in the vested liability of the pension. And you guys still have that packet?
Yep.
Just so you're aware.
And we're right at 78.2, which is up from 77 last year.
Correct. They say
So we're still going up a little bit.
The goal standard in our pension for the assumed liability is 80%.
80% funded.
That's kind of the benchmark, just so you guys are
Yep.
aware for future years. They like you to be 80% or higher.
And to give you an idea, every year we've been trending up on that, so I'm not too
Yep.
worried.
So I
Because
just-
we were as low as 70,
Below that
yeah.
benchmark, but
2021, we were down to 72%, we're all the way up to 78, so.
I forgot to mention that to you
Yeah.
when I was here, just so you had a snapshot of, I mean, there's quite a few years there, so you can kind of see the trend. But that might be something in the future to look at when you're
Yeah.
kind of choosing.
And then we were going to move 250,000 of the sheriff's part of the budget over to public safety lit. There's more than enough there to support that. And then if we did 3% raises based on what everybody else was asking, that saved us another $72,069 if we agreed at 3%. I asked Lisa to run at 3% because CPI inflation right now is 2.7. So we'd still be at least a little bit higher than what inflation is at this point. If we make those changes, we're now 56,000 to the positive.
Seth, can you tell me how much?
Time to go home.
Because I still think we could find it, I think we need to find about another 100. I think 150 is normally what we target.
Do you want to address?
Yes, we'll have her come, yeah, we'll have Hillary come up.
Yeah, so she doesn't have to.
So,
stick around for all.
did you have a question real quick though, Brandon?
Yeah, can you give me the number on the raises one more time?
The raises would save $72,069.
Okay, and I think I missed one, so just, I got 100 from animal control.
Yep,
I got 80 from the truck from EMA.
Yep.
I got 73 from the pension.
okay, you have 4,196 from probation officer number 5.
4,196.
Yep, and we have to add in this is not a minus, this is an add-on, 2,473 for community corrections.
That's right, 2,473 from CC, okay.
And then 250,000 moving to lit public safety for sheriff.
72 on the raises.
Yep, so there we go. Hillary, yeah, if you want to come on up so that way we don't keep you all night as we, yeah, your budget is about as straightforward too.
It's very unpredictable. I think that Cliff just was doing the 3% across the board for the actual coroner and then the chief deputy, and then he believed he was wanting to increase for the other deputies the amount from 150 to 200 per call or autopsy. Other than that, I think everything else kind of stayed where it was at.
You know that he took away 800 for telephone?
Yeah, for telephone.
Was
I
that?
no longer have that phone. Most of the time, because we have a phone upstairs in the office, and any of those phone calls will be forwarded to an email to either Cliff or myself, so we can get the voicemails from there. So it was just an extra phone number that we didn't need, and it was just confusing people. Most of the time, unless it's like a high-profile case, we always just give out our cell phone number to the family so they can directly reach us.
And who all goes out on a call if needed? There's you, Cliff.
Me, Cliff, or one of the other deputies that we have underneath of us.
How many do you have?
Currently, there is three. Sherry Stringer's one, but she is leaving at the end of the month.
Okay.
So then there will be just Amanda Johnson and then John Petro.
Oh, John does that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aside from that, right now, that's what we have.
So if you were to look, like, it's still a majority, like, if you look, Cliff takes, 30%, you take 30, and the rest is split, is that?
It's
like, who does most of it?
probably right around that. Maybe him and I even take more call than that, honestly.
Okay.
So,
Being full-time, I assume. But
yeah, it's just kind of a hit and miss thing, especially since Sherry's going to be leaving. She was our main on-call person during the day. That's all going to fall back to me now. So,
Okay,
and I'm on salary, so
okay. Are you looking to find a replacement, or is it?
I think Cliff had somebody lined up to take this class that was supposed to start in September, but for whatever reason, he is not able to, so he won't be able to start until February. He did have one take class in February, but I think that her full-time job has gotten in the way, and she may even actually be relocating, so.
Okay. Any other questions for Hillary? Well, thank you for coming in.
No problem.
Hey, Hillary.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, Seth, so one more time, that was 576,723. That's what we,
Yes, and we had a 520 deficit, so you subtracted 2, should leave us with a net gain of 56,601.
okay.
So we have a
That's an operating balance.
operating balance to that amount.
Okay.
So, a couple of things that we could do as well is if you go to the commissioner's budget, we'll just start there and we'll leaf through some of these. But they were asking for a 20%, a pretty big increase for the public defender contract. Instead of 225, I was going to make it 200. I didn't know how anybody else feels. They were looking to do a 20% increase. That would still be close to a 10% increase. If you see the line item, it would be 3117.
Like, what have they used so far, like, through June of this year?
These are on a contract.
Yeah, he was wanting to give them basically a higher contract to be more competitive with the other counties. Because he did that with juvenile as well. And the juvenile one, I also was going to probably reduce it a little bit because that's a pretty big jump in a contract. But
So you said 200,000 is what?
I was just throwing it out there
Oh, okay.
to see if anybody else objected to that.
Have that in his,
Well, he's got his, he has the juvenile in his.
was that, okay.
So yeah, under the circuit court,
That gets moved around.
yeah, under circuit court, he was jumping that one all the way from 78 to 128. And I did make a note that I would probably move that more to 100, because that's a 63.5% increase. So if we met him halfway again on both of those essentially,
Yeah.
to get started. So just throwing that out there that would allow us to save an extra 25,000.
Both of those make sense. Yeah, I believe so.
So I'll at least mark the 25 for 30117.
So take that to 200.
200
Yeah.
even.
That saves 25,000 there. We already did animal control. I think everything else on the budget looked pretty good, unless anyone sees anything with the commissioners that they would like to discuss.
You've had too many meetings this week.
On your 3%, did that include this board?
Yes, it would include this
Yes.
board. Mhm. Yes.
So that's everybody.
Everybody,
3%.
across the board.
That's everybody 3% except for the sheriff's department.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the sheriff's would be the only one done different.
Is economic development under commissioner budget, is that under general then?
No.
No.
I know that's, Yeah, that one's funded by its own budget behind it from its own tax rate.
Is
The good
there,
news is in a couple of years, it'll be nice because those will go away, and we'll have one pot of money we'll be distributing. The bad news is, we'll have one pot of money we're all going to have to figure out how to make everything work with, but we'll get there.
is there any desire to discuss the pool?
In what way?
Well, we had,
Reducing to 800?
The annual
no,
maintenance.
Steve.
Asking, we're trying to cut.
So,
Cut at.
I know, but we're also in the lit economic development budget here, so we're trying to cut from the general fund, right?
General fund.
Okay. I know Vicki last time mentioned how it used to be that schools would cum money for repairs instead of bond. And that's exactly, so I did a little digging, that's exactly what the pool fund is for. So that does not go into like daily maintenance. It's accumulating from both the city and the county in the event of a major repair. I understand if maybe this year, just all things considered, we take a break from it. But I do think it's something we should have on the radar for the future to sort of restart that. In the event, I mean, it's going to be a brand-new pool, so presumably there's not going to be a problem that is going to come up that's, it should be under warranty, right? So I understand. But maybe in a few years, we start saving
Would that all
again.
fall on city council right now then? If something did happen?
So right now, there's 100,000 in that fund.
Oh, okay.
So it has,
And it's available to the city of Bluffton,
Yeah.
Parks Department.
Okay.
yeah. They have to petition, I think, the foundation for it, but it can't just be spent on, like, I had mentioned chlorine. It says maintenance.
Yeah.
I think it said maintenance. Just a swimming pool. I guess I thought it was like a maintenance sort of,
Pretty broad.
but it's more major repairs. But
Something came up, you mean?
I think we revisit that. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think to leave that 10,000
Rainy day if we
out
ever
this
wanted to.
year and then, or for next
Okay.
year, and then.
if that's the consensus,
Visit it,
sure.
because then they'll know more about what costs are also.
Okay.
I mean, at this time, you can always dream and think what expenses there were. Who knows, so.
Sure.
I might have missed something Thursday, but 32,200, the miscellaneous charges and services, they spent 11,236 and they're requesting 30,000. Am I reading that right? Did I miss something last Thursday?
Where are you at?
It's on the economic development.
Economic.
Oh, on economic development, okay, I'm sorry.
I just had a question mark next to that. I didn't know.
Why they were asking for
I might have missed something when they were talking
I
last
believe
week.
that's gonna pay for, our timekeeping system.
Okay, I assumed it was for something like big, but, okay.
Where is that at? I mean,
It's in the lit.
No,
Oh.
I meant, where are we at with that?
They're gonna contact me the end of the year, beginning of next year, and get things started. It'll be another 6 months or so before it's implemented.
So then we could probably, if you want to just flip to solid waste, not a whole lot there, that's just pay increases. The only next one to really talk about a little bit on the highway garage is that do we want to give a little bit more of a stipend or pay increase, I think it was brought up a few minutes ago, for the supervisors above and beyond what rank and file are making. So I think the idea was that, and again, this doesn't affect the general budget, this is the own highway budget. So it doesn't impact, we want to be fair, obviously. Just because it's not in our budget doesn't mean that we don't want to still,
Nate made a pretty good case for that, I thought.
I kind of think he did two, because if somebody has to supervise other people and you're not making any more than the other people, then why would I want to manage somebody if I'm not going to get paid for doing it?
Do you like the proposed multiplier for everything, or just the foreman, or, I mean, there's, the mechanic, he bumped them up a couple, 2%.
For my part, I'm inclined to take Nate's recommendation, but if there's a desire to,
Multiplier.
if there's a desire to adjust it, we can,
Well, I said that because to me, a mechanic, sometimes if they're a good mechanic, they're definitely worth that
They are.
extra 2% is, you know.
I would say they are too, because if they can, I mean, it's easier for making bigger repairs because they're keeping it that they can pay for themselves in a lot of cases there.
would we want to bump the mechanic to 1.08?
Oh, I don't think so.
I wouldn't-
But
I wouldn't
he's-
Go above his range.
Yeah, I wouldn't go above his recommendation, but
Yeah.
I think that personally, I'm okay with his recommendations.
The whole thing, if you go to the proposed multiplier, is an increase of what, 27,540?
Yeah, it's not.
As is right now, right?
Right.
As it is.
Yep.
And that actually would be possibly adjusted depending, because they're all hourly, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's all hourly, so it's,
So I think I would be okay with going with his
proposed.
recommendation. Yeah. And the rest of the highway budget seemed pretty straightforward to me when I was glancing through it. Surveyor. Got a note on here, what was that for? Oh, no, never mind, that was just general pay. They had a couple of duplicates that we were looking to move to other categories. It's all right. Okay. Move over to health. Again, everything seemed pretty straightforward with health. If I go too fast, just stop me. Assessor. Again, the only thing are pay increases. Let's see, on the recorder side, I do think there were some things with the recorder.
On the assessor, on your postage, used 275 last year, but you're asking for 700. Is that still necessary?
Let me see how much she expended already.
That'd be great. Seemed like we had a few people talk about postage and then a few didn't, so.
Yeah.
Is there some change next year? I can't think of
It went up
anything.
this year.
Did it?
just the total cost, yeah.
Total postage goes up.
A couple times a year anymore.
She spent $400 so far. She's got $300. That was June 30th.
Maybe.
She'll probably use that up,
Yeah.
yeah, probably pretty close.
Yep. If you go through the recorder, she explained, I think, about the training.
Yeah.
You think a lot of because I know a lot of people did increase their training budget, not a lot, but they did. Are you feeling that that's a necessity within the courthouse?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yes, because we all do go to a lot of training.
Okay. So any question on the recorder's budget? All right, next one would be the treasurer. An increased postage sum. Looks pretty clean. Other than, again, raises. Custodian. Again, all zero increases other than raises.
Yeah.
So not a lot in the custodian's budget. The IT's budget, again, the problem is when they're being somewhat frugal, they make it a little harder on us,
Yeah.
is actually down other than raises. Coroner's budget, she just presented, and again, other than salary increases,
Well, she talked about from 150 to 200.
part-time.
Yeah.
It's not a huge difference. How does anybody feel about, I mean, that is not a job that a lot of people are probably
Not
banging down the
anymore.
door to do. So I'm not opposed to leaving that increase in there.
Okay with that.
Yeah.
In the extension office, basically, other than wages, again, the 3% increase for inflation from contractual services seems fine. The veterans budget,
That's a small budget.
yep. I don't want to cut the
No.
flag expense, that may be the end of me. I think that looks good. EMA,
So EMA has really been it's getting built from the ground up.
exactly,
And-
because if you remember last year, we took their budget down near zero
Yeah.
because of the challenges that they were facing. So this is really, you're right, building it again from the ground back up.
And
I did change a number of things, though, and I think they agreed. We took the travel and lodging, he had it 12.5, and I marked a note that we knocked that down to 5,000.
I think there's a handful of items that let's give it a year to see what's going to be necessary.
So I had that one at 10,000 savings.
So travel,
No.
No, that's
No, that's
7,500.
7,500.
Or, sorry, 7,500. Yeah, sorry.
That's not in the total we've already been talking about, is it?
No, yeah.
Okay.
No, these are not, the ones I'm going to cover are not in the
Okay,
ones
okay,
we
okay.
talked about.
and what did you suggest?
5,000.
Taking it from 12.5 down to 5,000.
You know, if we just shave a little bit from every line item.
Well, and I think, I made a note that under miscellaneous services, that we took that from 10 down to 5 when he was meeting with us. So that one would be down to 5. And then the other one was machinery and equipment. He put 5 in there, but I had a note to knock it down to 2,500. So that'd be a $2,500 savings in that line item. And then, of course, we already marked down to remove the vehicle for 80.
And
You already knocked that off?
Already locked, yeah, that was lobbed off.
The whole 80, the whole 80?
Whole 80.
Stayed with the
Yeah.
vehicle he has?
He did talk to me afterwards, said he may start looking to see if he could find something next year in the 40 range.
That's what he was,
But if he does, he can ask for an additional.
yeah, okay.
I just said if you do, we'll take it out, and then you can come, because I'd rather do that than spend the 40 and not come before us next, you know.
Yeah, I don't know that we need a brand new vehicle or anything.
Right. So that'd have to come before us before he does it. So,
on repairs and maintenance, he's asking for 2,500. 24 expended was 150. I mean, can we take that down to 2? Just give it some time, see what he's going to need?
You can always ask for an additional.
yeah,
2,000?
so move that to 2,000.
That's 2,000.
Anything else with his budget?
Just going through it.
The other supplies and PPE supplies,
He said he had to replace,
Yeah.
the size of them didn't fit.
Yeah, he was explaining
is
this.
that on the
more stuff.
PPE?
PPE, yes.
Yeah, the PPE.
So the other supplies, I'm not so sure.
Was-
So the other supplies,
That, I don't know what.
Those sounded okay, but I think it was more, the size of outfit or equipment for him or the next person.
If we knock the other supplies down, same as PPE, 2,500 for both, it's another $500.
I'm okay with that. Doesn't matter. We could knock that down to
okay.
2,500. No, it's other supplies.
Supplies.
20305.
Any other stand out to anybody on that one? The next one is basically no change that he made to it at all.
I'll have to write to know.
So if we jump to area plan, they had no changes in expenses, again, other than wages. Except for if you go to the next one, the GIS, he does increase software, but I think he explained that pretty well. It's a new software maintenance agreement. And then also a software support, so I think those are pretty straightforward.
I have a question on the GIS, the training. I just had how much was used this year, because he had,
Yeah, it's a good question. Because zero was expended in 2024.
and it says 3136.
But if he's getting new software, he's gonna have to go get some training for it. You're right, I don't know if it's $6,000.
Nothing.
So you want to take it down to 3? Cut it in half, and then if he needs more, he'll come to us and ask for more.
I didn't know if anybody else had any other notes, that's all I had.
I didn't on that one.
I didn't.
Okay, next one will be soil and water. Again, just raises, no other changes, so that makes that easy. Prosecutor,
I have a question. On soil and water, is she on the matrix system too?
soil and wages, and I believe there is a big increase in the IVD staff assistant 2. I know he talked about that. Let's see if there's a...
Yeah, it's a reimbursement. I think the state reimburses,
66%.
yeah.
They pay for, currently they pay for half
Part
of
of
that
it,
wage
half of it,
out of the other fund.
other fund.
I think he said,
Oh, and he moved...
I think he called it 4D, and I think they're going to be losing,
They're gonna be losing it eventually.
yeah.
Okay.
He had come to us last year about that, and
Right,
he
he did.
had given him 1 employee, but he had asked 2. So I think in the middle of maybe next year, that fund will be depleted.
Yeah.
Does that sound accurate to you?
He's got
Do you
53,6...
not have any money for 40 anymore?
No, we do.
Yeah, it says on here he's got 53,685. The estimate is he'll get 6,800 added to it. Based on what he's budgeting at the end of next year, it'll be down to 39,000. So I think that's what he's referencing, that we'll run out of money. So I'm okay if we,
With the adjustment.
yeah. And everything else are zeros. So, questions on the prosecutor's budget? If not, you got Superior Court. Now, again, on this one, the two big increases were obviously translation services, which we know we've already been increasing that with an additional. So I'm actually okay leaving it at 10, because I think we're going to be using it.
Every bit of it, probably.
Same with the psychiatric services. I think that those will both get used.
So the artificial intelligence gets good at doing it.
That makes so much sense to be using that. I mean,
I think at some point it'll be.
I think it's the
Right.
association, right, that keeps kind of balking a little bit.
supposedly we're on the list, I don't know if you know, Sheriff, but one of 3 or 4 counties that the Supreme Court, state Supreme Court's allowing us to use AI to see how it works.
See how it works.
As a test. So,
Yeah. Somebody that might be a 0 on that line.
yeah. So the next would be Circuit Court. Again, this is where I went ahead and took the juvenile public defender. I met him halfway. Instead of going from 78 all the way up to 128, I made that an even 100. So that would save us another 28,000 in that line item.
Which, where are we?
That's the juvenile public defender, 3123.
31, 2, 3. Gotcha. And you did put
Down
what
to
on there?
100,
100?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then back to probation officer number 5.
Yeah, that's the one that was already subtracted out of the budget because he had an error there.
You're right, and it's, that 83,920 is a good number then?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What, 83 now?
Yeah, right there.
I have it. Okay, yeah.
You got that.
Any other questions on Circuit Court? Others are kind of funded by their own accounts. You jump to Community Corrections. For now, I was asked by the commissioners to go ahead and go with the little bit of the higher amount. I know, Brandon, you mentioned that there was another budget where we might remove another potential employee. Was being proposed.
The other, it's not so much that we would remove another employee, it's a matter of protecting the status of project income per the state's recommendations. Sounds like they're telegraphing that more cuts may be coming. So project income has been depleted over the last 4 years severely. So would that, as a consequence, potentially mean a loss of staff? It could. It's probably too early to say that. In terms of timing, I know at the last meeting we had talked about when that CCAB meeting will be. There was some discussion that it would be the morning of the next council meeting.
The 10th.
It's on the 10th, and that's when we have to have a decision. This council has to have a decision made. Is that, am I misremembering?
I think it's the budget from the CCAB isn't going to be approved till the 10th.
Right.
Of
So-
September?
Yes.
Yes, yes. I know Community Corrections submitted this budget because they had a deadline and they could submit it without it being approved. So they've submitted this one to the state, but they can change it.
Okay.
The good news is, if anything, this is higher.
Yes.
Correct.
When it gets past, it's lower, so we could always adjust lower. We could not
Yes.
go higher.
Yes.
Right.
So there's no harm, no foul in this right now.
Right.
Best case, worst case, best case is that it comes in lower, if you guys passed a lower budget.
Right.
Okay.
It won't be higher.
I didn't think it'd be
Yeah.
higher. That's why I said worst case is, it's still going to be lower.
Right.
And that's the one that's in the color
That's the one that's in color.
So is that the 134? What am I looking at here?
134 is the project income amount. On your left, the 99,996 is the general fund amount.
That's the general fund, and that's the one we're talking about, the 90?
Yes, the 155,535 is the grant amount, and that's what the grant will be. And I looked over their budgets today, and there's gonna, unless they need to transfer money, like for monitoring or whatever, they're gonna have like 36,000 that they don't spend from project income.
For this year?
Yeah, they're gonna
Okay.
have a lot in the grant as well, because a lot of wages just went away.
And that money will flow over into the
It'll go
next?
back in the fund.
Okay,
Okay.
so the 99,996 is where it's gonna be at, is that?
Tentatively.
That'd be the highest.
point? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one we're looking at right now. Okay.
So do we need to, because on the general form, it's got a different amount of 97,523.
Right.
So do we need to add,
I did add that in.
you did add that in,
Yeah.
is that the,
That's the two.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Lisa.
welcome.
Okay, so we're good there then on our numbers. Any other questions there? Okay, if not, we can jump over to the sheriff, which we already talked about a number of the items on there. A couple of things that I made note of. The sheriff's here, make sure he doesn't kill me on this, but some of these things, just to help cut some things out, on the service contract. Let me grab it here. There's a line item for what all those are covering. So one of the easier ones, at least for me for now, would be to move the flock cameras, and do you have enough in commissary or lit that we can move over into that area? Sheriff?
I don't know the balance today. I mean, it's all driven, it could be driven off population in the jail, it could be driven off.
Okay.
Commissary obviously is sales, in addition to sales to the inmates, so, yeah, there's a lot of things that
I'm just trying to find some additional,
I guess it's just not a pot of money that I'm sitting on. I mean, I bought transport vans, I bought multiple detective cars over the years that I've been sheriff, so there's a lot of other things that I take out of there, which are hit and miss. I mean, a detective car can last a lot longer than a patrol car, so it's not a yearly thing.
Okay.
My only concern is this is an investigative tool that we use that is a constant, and it's a cost every year, where I try to use commissary for those things that I
One-off.
never come to you guys for that qualify in there. Like I said, I bought our transport van when I first became sheriff. We're still using it 8 years later. Our big one. We just bought another minivan and replaced our smaller transport van. I know I bought 4 detective cars out of there. We bought a storage barn for out, that's the type of things that I like to use commissary for
Okay.
initially. And the flock was obviously, again, spent initially to trial run it and not have to have the general fund spend $18,000 to see if it really was beneficial to us. And that's what I did. And then brought those statistics to you last year. I did pay for them again out of commissary. It is a big chunk out of commissary. But over the years we've tried, that's why the last couple of years I broke down the contractual services. We're trying to get those things, previous administrations and stuff, kind of just paid for those out of commissary. And you can't always guarantee that money to be there, so we've tried to get those in their own line item to be able to secure that. But again, I don't have a nest egg. I've never let that thing grow super big. I try to utilize it for things that I don't have to come back and burden you guys in the general fund. extra items that we needed. You know, they're reported in the commissary reporting, but we utilize that pretty well, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's the kind of the long answer. My thing is we're using something every year, it's beneficial, it's a tool we use, whether it's a cop car or a flock camera, we use it every year, and those are in our budget.
And-
If you want to use public safety for it, I'm fine with that.
Well, that's what my question is.
We're on our fourth year of me spending, this would be the fourth year
Yeah.
of me spending it out of commissary.
You're not adding camera, correct?
No, I still have the same
These are
number
the
that when I
same.
started.
How's it determined what actually, is there any limits on what the public safety can be used for?
Has to be used, there
No
is.
salaries, because we know it can be that.
It has to be public safety related.
Okay. Some of the software would fall into that
Yes.
category.
I would think-
So again,
You'd think this would fall.
You guys see it, I mean, we already use public safety for like utilities, we use it for
Yeah.
medical, we use it for police cars, we use it for, I think there's one more.
yeah, you've got, right now, you've got medical expense in there, you've got a couple rescue lease, or a truck lease interest and principal, utilities in there, 130 for police vehicles, equipment.
No food.
I don't see food in there.
But you're also moving 250,000.
Right, I know, so I want to be careful there. Okay. Your budget was the one that we gave the most to and got hit the most when they took the 250 away for F6.
Yeah.
So that's a $500,000 hit just off those alone, so we're just trying to figure out how we move some things around. I also had down service contract for ERS.
That's not a large amount, is it?
Well, you had $8,000 and I moved it to 2 when we were talking. Do you know how much it was expended this year on that?
Oh, you questioned Krista on that, and our bill is not 8,000. It used to be.
Yeah.
When we did dispatch through there, we still monitor those consoles.
I had that it said, was said $1,500 would do it. She said that
So we can move that to...
$120 per month,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that $1,500 should do it.
so we can move that to 1,500 then?
Yeah.
Move it to 1,500.
Yeah.
Yep. There was one other that was a small amount that you guys noticed. I can't remember which one it was.
The only other thing I have is that service contract,
Yeah,
$18,000 for camera. Well, the other thing,
I had 1,000 down under training
Yeah,
and
training and
seminars.
seminars, yeah,
Then from 3,500 to 1,000.
to 1,000.
Where is that?
You see that? That's under the jail.
Page, okay.
Item 3,900, 3,0900.
yeah.
Took it to what, Seth?
1,000.
Gotcha, thank you.
Did we take it to 1,000? I have minus it.
I had 1,000, so I had.
I had 1,000, like take it to 1,000.
Okay.
I thought it might, but it doesn't.
Back to that ERS, what did that go down to?
Where is
Service
this?
contract ERS. Did that change?
Is this where you are, this page?
Yeah, yeah.
Down to 1,500.
1,500, okay, okay.
From 8,000.
I'm sorry.
1,500.
With the extras.
And am I right, there's no additional deputies or jailers in this?
Correct.
Okay.
And you're
I got
probably
81,000
gonna-
plus
you're probably gonna get a
5,601.
substantial leftover amount of
Got
salaries
137.
This year.
Yeah.
Because we have gone
I mean, obviously, you're,
3 deputies short.
Yeah.
Or did you have, how much did you have?
yeah, I'm just trying to make sure whatever it is.
Okay, you're right, yep, include flock, yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
Other than part-time. I
Trying to find, yeah, fill the spots if you have them.
Yeah, that puts us at 155 surplus.
Are you still using overtime for Ossian at all? Are they all full?
Yeah, we stopped it.
Anything else on sheriffs?
What did you decide on the
Yeah, the
service contract?
I took it out temporarily, and we can add it back in the end if we want to.
Or you took it totally out?
No, just the flock part.
Okay.
Just, I was trying to find something to reduce to get us to 150, and right now we're 155 if we take it out.
So you took out
Surplus.
the 18,000?
Of 18.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, if you take out the 18 for flock, right now we're at 155,601, and we always usually shoot for at least 150 surplus going into the year. If you jump over to, switch gears and look at the clerk. Again, I think she said that the postage was going to be up because it's an election year. And everything looks pretty straightforward for an election year. Statewide 911. And again, this is what is funded with its own account that we are trying to remove. This is the one we're removing the salaries from, correct? So you can see that the budget was down 55 for dispatch and contract fees. That's the one employee.
So next year, there'll be some more,
We have, next year will be year 4, we have 2 more years, right?
2 more years of weaning this.
This was, this year was year 3, so I think we have 2 more years, Todd.
Okay, okay.
And then we'll be completely out on that one. Our good old auditor. Again, increase in postage, and auditor's night meeting comp,
That's, I get paid $65 for each night meeting, and we seem to have a lot of them.
it's not by the hour, which is what's bad, it's
Yes.
like per meeting.
So I've had to transfer.
So last night, you basically were here from 5 until about 9, so 4 hours.
Uh-huh.
So you have about $30 an hour.
Yes. That's okay.
Any questions for the auditor? Oh, I did have down, under plat book, we did reduce professional services from 5 to 4. And I know that's its own account, so it doesn't affect
It is gonna-
general. Okay. And you've got innkeepers, which is basically just, contractual services. Right, Scott? The money just comes in and then,
Right, not a county expense.
yep.
General fund, yeah.
Council rainy day. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, council and rainy day, should said both together. So again, just because we always start with 0 with raises, but I do think 3% is, I normally don't support raises for this group, but I do think with more and more responsibility coming in the next couple of years, we're going to have to probably start to at least do cost of living with it, or we're going to fall further behind and at some point have a bigger adjustment to be made. I know we all don't do it for necessarily the pay, but you do still want to keep up a little bit. So I'm okay with the 3% if everybody else is, but
I think especially with having an election next year, I don't know if everybody's going to run or not, but, you know, if other people want to run, they want it to be worth their time, at least.
Yeah, I know the city just about ran into an issue where the salary was so low and the health insurance was so high. I think you almost had to pay. I think there was one year where it was coming pretty close. you almost had,
Be on-
you had to pay to be on, yeah, you had to pay to be on council.
Medical benefits. So,
That's rumor and innuendo, I haven't confirmed that, but I was told that.
like, and again, maybe because of all that I've seen is coming down the road, our jobs in 2 years will probably be triple the work. If you have to figure every township's going to have to come before us now, like Alcine right now, they're under 3,500, they're going to have to come before us now. Anybody that gets local income tax has to come before us going forward. It's going to be a huge lift, so a 3% doesn't seem unreasonable to me, I guess.
They kind of tried to do that a few years ago.
That was those
When you bring the
non-binding
budget, yeah,
reviews. No,
non-binding.
yeah.
Yeah, this is signed into,
It's totally different.
Yeah.
This would be totally different.
so, yeah, so we got to look forward to, AJ. So. So other than that, our budget's straightforward. Hume Capital Fund, development. And then we have rainy day. What would be our balance in rainy day? 'Cause
Is this,
we're going to add another 250 to it, right?
Yes. Your current balance is
You're right, it's on the next page.
$1,962,000.
What was that again?
$1,962,180. But that, if you spend $250,000 this year, which I find highly unlikely, but you never know, that would take it to 1.7, and then if you spend your 250 next year, it'd take it to 1.4. So if you don't spend anything, it's 1.9. That's what your budget is, it's 1.9.
And we haven't really been spending out of it at all.
So, as it concerns that money, it's almost 2 million in reserves.
but you're going to draw that down with what vote was last night.
Will be out of there.
Yeah, so it's going to take it down $1 million.
Right, so that's.
It's obligated to.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that. I wasn't sure. So there was some discussion of that vote last night, that commitment being split between lit economic development and rainy day. That is all coming out of rainy day, is that correct?
That's what the document said, I believe, that we signed.
Right, okay.
Now, if the commissioners were to come back and say that they're willing to do half out of economic
Okay.
lit, then, we could do an ordinance or a change to that if we decided to.
The document was changed a few times, that's, okay. All right, so that'll be at 900,000. All right. What historically do we?
That's for 5 years commitment,
Right.
up to 5 years.
What historically do we sit on in rainy day?
It's been it's been growing since I've been on council. I don't think we've had a year where it's gone down, have we?
I'm
Well,
trying
we
to
bought-
think, I don't believe you could have rainy day until maybe, I'm gonna say maybe 15 years ago.
Okay.
Because there again, legislators changed some of how you accumulate.
Yeah, I
All this
guess
stuff, so then, and some schools would have money left over, and they would want to tuck it into rainy day, because at that time, in 2008, finances were pretty bad. So it was nice if they could do
They could
something
tap
like
it.
that. So I think that that's how it came.
it's smart to have a cushion. I would be, if you're going to levy taxes, it's good to put those dollars to work
Well, and another thing that
without being reckless.
that to me is a concern, and the reason why I like a rainy day, is there could be something kind of major happen in one of these buildings,
It's a piggy bank.
and we
Yeah.
just,
An air conditioning system for the courthouse, $250,000.
Like that.
Bank bingo.
yeah, it's,
Especially with the age of the buildings.
Yeah.
It also gives us the flexibility to utilize, like we did with, wasn't the regional sewer district, where we loaned them some of the
That's,
money.
I was just going to say, that's the
And then
next
that
thing.
leveraged even more money to come in with match, and then we got it paid back. So it does give us the ability to do things and invest in things that
That's good. Those are good
otherwise wouldn't be able
examples.
to do.
And
good
it sounds like this
examples.
toxin project's going forward, so
Yeah,
I haven't
it-
heard from, whether they're coming forward for anything or not, but, that agreement's up to, what, $500,000?
Yeah.
If it's still,
Is that agreement still in?
that's still
No, you would have to.
We'd have to renew that.
renewed, but I'm just saying, the last time it was up to $500,000 for, so,
The commissioners are giving them 200 for match.
so they're not needing additional?
I don't
Oh, okay.
think they're interested.
I haven't heard anything, so. But, that's, another project could come up, and that
Yeah.
could be, that's what we did the last time with it, with,
It's kind of nice to have that, so that you
we give them
can,
that.
can have those types of
What we're
things.
gonna be doing,
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you stuff, the ability to do things you otherwise couldn't if you didn't
When
have it.
Beth bought new election equipment, was that spent out of rainy?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was what, 70,000?
Oh, that was more than that,
Was it
wasn't
more than that?
200, I
Was it
thought.
200?
Yeah, for the new voting machines.
So, okay, that's good.
At least we're in a,
You've got a good point, Braden, and I agree with you, but I don't think we're at that exception.
No, I don't think so, yeah, 270 for
remember, I spoke
HVAC
last year
system.
briefly trying to give $500,000 back to property tax owners, and I was told it would cost more than what it would be a benefit to doing,
That's right.
because rainy day was growing some, but
Yeah.
hindsight, I do agree, though, I think you do need money there, because it doesn't take a whole lot to drain that if you have a major expense with.
That courthouse is an old courthouse.
And you gotta also remember, there can be, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but if you need to balance your budget, rainy day can be used for that too, right? If there's a bad, you have some bad economic times.
Yeah.
And you have excessively, a lot of could use rainy day to balance their budgets so that can deplete it real fast,
And that's really kind of the biggest concern, is that with the State House shifting more of the tax burden away from property taxes to lit, you go through an 08 or 09 where suddenly unemployment spikes, your revenue's going to get crushed.
Your rainy day will.
You don't have that more constant with property tax revenue coming in, that just across the board, it makes sense to have some. You don't want to be excessive, obviously.
Yeah.
You want to be smart about it, but
Because what goes up will come down
It
someday,
does.
and it will happen, so.
you live through enough of it, it will.
Better believe it.
So any other questions over, well, there is a miscellaneous, or no, there's not. I just saw a tab there for miscellaneous. So we got a good starting point here, Lisa. What would be the next steps? Do you go back and just confirm and run the numbers again? Do we need to have another budget hearing? Or if we all kind of agree that this is the path we're going to go down, we've got 150,000 just over surplus that we target, so we're there. Are we good to close the meeting, and we don't need to do all the other meetings we have scheduled?
Right, and I can put in all the changes and make sure it comes out close to
Right.
what we're thinking, and if we need to have another meeting, we can always have.
Then we just
another meeting.
reopen the meeting and do it again?
But there'll be another hearing meeting in October, won't they?
There has to be.
To finalize where your cuts, everything,
Yeah.
approval of it, so.
Is everybody okay
I
with
assume
that?
that would be in October, I assume, the plans for October.
Wasn't it, if I
Yes.
remember right?
And right now, we're 155, or,
154 something.
So 150, 150, okay.
To the good? Yes.
I asked for clarity on two things. One, you pulled Flock out of contractual services. Is that commissary, or is it you looking to pay that out of that?
You can't increase the lit at this point, we'll have to do additionals after the.
Yeah,
first of the
we could
year.
add it as part of the
So let me
additionals.
ask this.
We could do it part of the additionals.
So let me ask this, commissary falls into the statute of the campus. There's one thing I pay out of commissary that has been paid out of commissary the 22 years I've been sheriff, and it's our cell phones. If we flip-flop, our cell phones, we pay out of commissary for the department, mostly deputies and few administrative staff. That's about $1,000 a month. So that's $12,000. The only contractual thing that we do not pull out of commissary. If we flip-flop the two, pay for Flock out of commissary and go drop that line item down to 12 to pay our cell phone bill out of it.
Okay.
So that'd be about a $6,000.
I'm good with that.
That'd be
That'd
good.
be $6,000.
I'd do that.
Trade-off.
Okay.
That's
Do that
gonna
trade-off.
get you around your
150.
150.
Okay, so we're changing that from minus 18,000 to
So
what?
basically a 6,000 difference.
To minus
$6,000
$6,000.
If you give me 12,000 for that line item, or I
Okay.
guess,
That line item.
just drop it to 12, I mean, it's all one line item. but-
Because cell phone's contractual services automatically, so that just stays in that same line item, right?
Yeah, I texted Krista, she said it's about $1,000 a month.
Okay.
So,
That makes
We
sense.
can do that. That's a good
That
compromise.
makes sense.
and then the second question is, the courthouse security part-time, was that ever addressed?
No, I don't think it was.
Oh, yeah, I have 3 questions.
Yeah,
No, it was not.
no.
I mean, I know that you wanted the 25.
I asked for 25. If you look at it, one guy's already full-time, so you're talking literally one person. But that raise is less than $3,000. The money I'm asking for in there covers it. But to have it in the salary ordinance is what the hourly rate is there. Last year, they got a 60-cent raise. To try and get that to the 25, if you look at one person for the entire year, it's like $1,900.
I guess the reason
Is that-
why I didn't say anything is I thought if we did a across the board increase, it would just be bad.
Well, I have several part-times, not to interrupt you, Vicki, but it's, we have part-time jail, we have part-time, courthouse security is always
Pretty.
kind of dealt with. All the years until last year, that has always been like a dollar increase every year. Because it used to be $15 an hour. And so that one was always treated differently than any percentage. It was always, that's why I addressed it in the hearing at an hourly rate. It's always just been a flat hourly rate. It's never been sitting there. I think it was
Bless you.
never clarified last year. I asked Lisa about it when it was discussed. That's when it was said it was across the board.
Is it in the money now? With where we're talking, where
It would
we've
be
been
in the
talking?
3% if that's.
Right now, it'd be in the 3%? Is that what you're saying?
Was
Okay.
it 2140 or something like that?
It's $20.60.
$20.60, he wants 25.
I mean, 440, that's what I used. A 440 an hour raise would be $1,900 for the year. At 8.5 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, it comes down to $1,900.
If this was to be done, would that get it up there where it needs to be to go forward? I mean, as far as you think at this point?
I know we keep talking about it, that last, that was the last amount of years we keep talking
Yeah,
about it,
and
and it's
here-
kind of, and I totally understand
The
to
very
get.
first year I came in, when it
Yeah.
was 15, I was trying to get it to 20.
Yeah, I just gonna say, I remember that, and to
Then I got
me,
$1, and the next year I tried to get it to 20
Yeah.
again. $1, 20 again, and so, yeah, I mean,
I don't see the part-time one in here.
somebody that carries a gun. there's-
I agree with you, I agree.
They have arrest powers, so.
I just wanna make sure we're not opening up a can of worms
that-
here.
is that this-
into all
It's
the
a
other
low hourly
issues.
rate for the job they do.
I do, you have the qualifications to do this is definitely much more advanced than other unfortunately, other part-time situations.
That's for one deputy that,
Well, it's one position. If you look at it, there's two people always working
Right.
for security. One is the supervisor, the other one is filled with part-time people. It's like 5 different people. But you
Right,
really gotta
right.
look at it as if it's really just one person working.
Sure,
They
yeah.
just Split.
Yeah.
halfway
split, yes.
through. So that increase is not very much to the total expense to get them to 25. I still think for even part-time, if one of our deputies go work in an auction.
Oh, yeah.
Vicki could probably attest to this. They pay, most part-time work pays $50 an hour for our officers to do an off-duty.
Yeah, I agree
With what you're discussing?
I'm good with it.
Like I said, if we kind of get that up to where we need to
Yep.
be, and that way we can, going forward, we can keep,
You can take
Percentages.
that council raise.
That may not cover it.
I heard that.
Your raise wasn't enough to cover
I
it.
vote from a 0 from that,
Okay.
for District 2. I
We
get outvoted, but I'll take it.
haven't voted on any of this yet, though, Steve, so we'll do that at our next meeting.
Seth, just put that out there.
Does this create a problem with any other
Yeah.
department? That's the only
We're-
thing.
we're-
I just see
Well,
this,
I guess
these things
the
happening.
way I look at that though, Vicki, is that each department's going to be different, because if you're carrying a gun over at the courthouse, to me, is different than working somewhere else, you know?
I mean, I agree. I just
Yeah.
know how snowballs roll. And I want to make sure we're thinking about anybody else, because I
Yeah.
know some departments, you have to have more education or more certifications or whatever. Just want to make sure that we don't have
Well, I
somebody
guess-
coming in and hollering
I
about
can say
it.
this, I don't see any other department heads here fighting for their people, so.
I'm not going there.
Nothing against them, but
That is-
if that meant something to them, they need to go to their people and fight for it, so.
But definitely to carry a gun and have those qualifications,
Yeah.
we're,
And I appreciate that. You guys have
I
always,
agree.
back in the day, it was, everybody was treated the same, and it's not treating one better than the other, it's just.
They're different roles.
recognizing the type of work
We've
it is.
made adjustments in a lot of different departments.
yeah, we
I
have.
was gonna say, it's not like we haven't been generous the last several years with the pay matrix for everybody.
Recognize the job that they
We
do.
gave good raises the last several years when inflation was higher.
In a changing world.
But, you know, I also do appreciate across the board a lot of the department heads, because nobody inflates their budget. I mean, we look and it made it hard for us because a lot are zero outside of salaries. I mean, they do a pretty good job in this county of not going overboard with their budgets either.
I had a question on the animal shelter. Maybe run that back for me again, Seth, here. So currently, the budget is 90,000, and we're cutting that to 40.
If you remember, Blake said that they wanted to cut it back to 40 till they get somebody hired. And also, because part of the issue was that when animal control was coming out to the county, they weren't able to do anything because there were different ordinances for the county versus the city.
I remember this.
What they asked is knock it to 40 so that then they had the ability to negotiate with the city. So they could come back and ask for an additional in the end.
Okay.
And they figure out who they've hired, what it looks like. But they said with a lot of uncertainty in that position right now, they wanted to knock it to 40.
So what's the rationale of not keeping it at 90? Just,
Because Blake asked if.
just because Blake asked for 40?
Yeah, because it ought to
Okay.
be, Blake asked to cut it to 40 and said that we'll work through the city to see who they hire. And also, my understanding again, when Blake was here, is that majority of the runs are in the city of Bluffton, not as many out in the county. And I think the commissioners need to sort that out with the city.
Okay.
Along with, I think there are other positions that I talked to Commissioner Stringer and said you probably need to get with the city with all the shared services that we have and figure out what ought to be 50/50, what ought to be based on usage.
Okay.
And so, but it was their request, Brandon, in the end, that we do that. So
All right.
if they want to negotiate, then we'll increase it later, we can.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I recall. I just wasn't sure. Yeah, I just wasn't sure about cutting it from 90 to 40, but if that's what Blake wanted, then
Yeah.
that's fine.
So I think that's what it used to be back in the day, wasn't it? Because Blake had said back in the day it was 40. We increased it. Now they're trying to hire somebody, and the county wants to make sure that when they hire somebody, what's it going to look like with shared services with runs? Because I think the idea is that I've been getting the services in the county from animal control, like the city's been getting. Hopefully, Sheriff, you can nod your head that that's been true, that they come out and there's not much they can do.
I've spoken to the commissioners, they've reached out to me, and so I know they're actively, they're having discussions with the mayor, because that falls under the animal
Yeah.
shelter, even though it's a somewhat shared service, it's under their control and their supervision, and I
This is-
think they wanna make sure, they've reached out to me as far as what services we use from them. And there is a difference, like you said, between city ordinances that they deal with animals. I mean, they're not gonna come out in the county and pick a dead kitten off the road. They would do that in the city because they'll call about it and stop.
What I at least want to mention, the city was hit harder by the property tax changes than the county. And the animal shelter, the fireworks, the pool, those are 3 cuts to the city, and I want to be cognizant of that. So, I guess that's the end of my sentence.
No. And I'm hoping that the commissioners will get together, at least the president of the commissioners and the mayor will get together, because that was a request that they had made. And afterwards, I did talk to, again, Commissioner
Yeah.
Stringer and said, you need to get with the city to get a lot of this stuff, because we don't want to be adversarial with them. We want to be working with them.
That's
And
what I
This is
was,
starting to feel a little adversarial.
it very much is,
And so
yes.
I got with Commissioner Street, who's going to get with the mayor, sit down. I said I'd be happy to be part of those discussions too,
Okay,
to iron out what should all these shared services that we have now, what should they look like?
yeah, very good. I just want to make sure that we're not pulling the rug out from underneath the city. It is still within the county.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you want to keep board pay at $65 a meeting?
Yeah, we don't need to increase board pay.
The prosecutor in his, one of his auxiliary funds, he has two personnel that he pays $750 more than the others. He wants to increase it to $2,500 each.
That's already in the budget.
He has added it in there.
But what we just looked at,
It's not in the general fund,
that's not general fund?
no.
He was using money out of the other funds to pay
Yes.
this,
Yeah.
right?
I'm fine with that. I don't have, if you feel,
To change it from
so what are they making now?
750 to 2,500?
They make $750 more than the other
More than
deputies
the others, okay.
in their office. He's, for the last few years, asked to increase it to $2,500 each.
I'm sorry,
What's the rationale?
which budget?
Well, that's
They
not a
just
good-
had
It's
experience.
prosecutor.
Okay.
That's what the matrix takes.
Because they need more money.
They deserve more.
Give the council a moment to
Yes.
turn here.
Turn to the prosecutor, there it is.
It's, yeah,
Okay.
it's a yellow tab.
Yours is,
Oh, mine is yellow.
And so this is a separate discussion from the raises.
Right.
Yeah, because it's under their own.
Where is that?
it is in pretrial deferral, fund 2509.
And it's the salary part.
There we,
Yes.
So it's going from 750 to 2,500 total, so 1,750 difference, okay.
1750
Increase.
increase in rate.
that's what, that's.
Total for both, right?
Paid out
No,
of.
This one for one?
yep,
Where?
Where's the other one at?
it comes
Right
out
here.
40.
Which page?
Pretrial,
Budget in here.
page
Oh,
5.
40 is not.
Probation.
Oh, it's in probation?
Yeah, probation.
I thought that was prosecutors.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Do they
prosecutor.
do more, do you know? I mean, what's, there's no?
Okay, right here, pretrial, fund
Okay.
2509. You got page 5.
I've got page 5.
Go up to the top, it's
Oh, 2509 up there, okay.
10115.
And so for whom is this raise being considered?
Was it for Brenda? And I don't remember.
I don't know which one they're doing.
Once-
I know
Because,
which ones.
Well, I don't mean names, but I mean,
but that's,
They do extra duties, they do the pay vouchers, they do extra duties.
so he's,
And last year, they got $750.
Yeah,
So we increased from
that's
750 last year, now he wants to increase it another 2,500 or 1,750?
Yes,
For this same position, same spot.
so he wants an additional 1,750,
yes,
1,700
Per employee.
per employee,
employee. And how many employees is that?
2.
It's 2, okay.
They get paid out of different funds. The 4D is not in here, so you don't see that one.
And so you mentioned they do some clerical work above and beyond what the others do. Do they deal with particularly horrific cases, child abuse cases and issues like that?
I mean, it might funnel through the office at some point, but
4D is a program that they basically try to find a father that
Child support.
isn't paying his support and that type
So
of thing.
this is for the 2,4D, this is for the 2,4D employees.
this is just for one. This is for pretrial deferral. This is for one, and then there's also another 4D
think one is more for the 4D program. The other one, I don't know that it was for 4D program.
No.
It's just for the prosecutor's office.
Okay, so
So these two people.
there are two people in there, but I'm just not clear on what the difference is between what they do and what those who wouldn't be getting this raise do.
I don't know, that would be a question.
Well, what
for
if we,
Colin.
Just leave it.
we leave it the way it is,
750.
and then it's 750, and then we'll have Colin can talk to, when we actually vote for it, if we need to change it, we can, but we'll leave it at 750 for now. So Colin can maybe answer why the extra amount makes sense.
So does that end up going into salary ordinance then? When
Yes.
it would be, once to that, to those individuals then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, the clerk had increased her election secretary pay from 4,500 to 5,000.
I was just doing the 3% raise on that. Is there a reason that
Usually you don't, but
we just do it with normal raise?
You don't
just
do an
always stay the
increase.
same. It's like a stipend.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a stipend, okay.
Normally, it's not an increase unless you
Okay.
choose to make an increase.
I'd leave it the same then.
That's all my questions.
Any other questions from anybody else? Council? If not, do I have a motion to conclude the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
After that one.
Well, I thought we